Well, we're here with Mark Thielke representing Vantage. Mark, it's good to have you here at Activate.
Thank you.
Why don't you give us just an overview of the lines that make up Vantage and kind of where they fit in the overall landscape?
Sure. The first main line we represent is Ralph Lauren Polo, and that is definitely a lot of the styles that you would see in a high-end department store. The similar styles that you would want for the corporate environment. Okay. So we do stock that brand. You can change the colors of the Polo Pony if for some reason your client has an orange logo or a royal blue. There are some options we can do for that as well. So that would be more of your higher end. Okay. Your middle of the road or more of a golf brand would be the Greg Norman line, that actually the styles that we stock are shown at golf retail shops. Okay. So we stock that brand, which has done very well in the golf market. We're bringing that brand to the corporate environment. And then our main bread and butter line would be the Vantage Apparel line, which is, we're based in New Jersey, and we also have facilities in St. Louis and also in California, so depending on where you're located, we can also try to accommodate as well on decorating or how you're proceeding with that order.
Okay, so St. Louis and LA, those are contract decorating?
Those contract decorating, okay. Just strictly our embroidery facilities.
Okay, great. And then in New Jersey, that's decoration as well as warehouse?
Yes, it is. Okay. So we chip the blanks and also do all our decorating in-house in New Jersey.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over some of the products you showed earlier. Really highlight the strong point, which is the decoration. So let's start with that laser etched polo.
I just point out that the world is in our world, it's not strictly just an embroidery and screen print world today. There are some different options that are available to you. Okay. One first being what's called laser etching. Laser etching is where the laser beam would hit the garment and creates a darker shade than the actual garment color. Okay. Let's say you don't like a backing, that sometimes that does, it's not preferential to have a backing on the shirt. This wouldn't happen with the laser etch decoration.
Laser etching doesn't work on all colors.
Correct.
Because
correct.
It essentially melts the fabric to create the logo, like you can see the mini logo there, correct?
Exactly. Okay. So for example, a black or a navy poly would not show well on a laser etch. Okay. And again, a cotton garment would not be recommended because it's going to burn it completely through the garment. Okay. So and again, you can go up to 36 square inches. You don't have to go with just a simple smaller logo. You can be a little bit more bigger and also place it in different parts of the garment as well. Okay,
and of course, since you're laser etching, there's no hooping, so you can go across seams and across plackets and zippers and...
Right, exactly. And then let's say you have a logo that's very large. We don't look at the stitch count of the logo. We just look at the square foot on the size of the garment. Okay. Besides, with polyester being the #1 trend in a polo right now, one thing that we're also doing is a private label program where we can create your corporate logo on the inside label of the garment. Oh, okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just on a polo. It could be on an activewear piece. It could be on a long sleeve polo. We have probably 20 different garments that we could actually private label.
And that's a heat transfer, correct?
It's a heat transfer. Okay. Yes. So you could do a heat transfer on the main body, but for this particular, we would do the heat transfer and cover up our Van Sport, which is our brand for moisture wicking fabric.
Okay. That creates a very custom piece.
It does. It definitely does. So definitely, when you want to promote your brand versus say Nike or Adidas, it's a great way to kind of say, hey, let's promote ABC company that you work with.
Okay. Why don't we move into screen printing, because that's an area that is getting more popular. I know with Vantage, just on the communications we're getting from you guys.
Sure, I look at it as the world from the past. Maybe you were using just a simple 1-2 color logo, but in the retail world, you see a lot of different graphics or a lot of different decorating techniques for screen printing, One being, for example, is a vintage soft hand, or as I might call it, looks aged, or maybe something, a graphic that might have been strong from the 50s that
Right.
kind of brings that into play today.
Okay. And I know nobody can feel it, but in touching that garment, it's almost like you can't even feel the
Correct.
image. It's a very thin. It's not a typical,
It's not a
plastisol thick.
thick ink that when you put your hand over, you can definitely feel it. On this vintage soft hand, it would not. No, it'd be definitely feeling like you're almost feeling the actual
The
T-shirt.
garment. Okay.
Yeah. And then in addition would be the a distress look, which is normally going to have similar like cracking within the actual logo. That's actually a really popular style as well.
Yeah.
And then in addition, we can do what's called the clear soft hand ink, which actually looks like for embroidery, you would call that tonal embroidery. We would call this a clear soft hand ink, which is actually going to look like a darker shade than the actual garment color.
Okay. And that, on that particular Piggly Wiggly garment, you've got applique across the front. You've got that soft hand down the sleeve.
Exactly.
You've taken a very plain T-shirt, long sleeve T-shirt, and really created some very unique decoration on it.
Exactly. Yeah, we look at it as, in some cases, you want to create maybe a design that you want to wear them more than just for one event. You want to wear this as, maybe to work every week or for an event. But in a lot of cases, we've created some different techniques that are a little more fashion forward.
Sure.
So with an applique, like this has a little bit of that fringe edged, that again, your minimums are only at a 24-piece minimum, and it's a great option to go on a long sleeve tee, short, just a regular t-shirt, and so on. You could do it on a hoodie, sweatshirt.
Kind of moves up just a plain T-shirt into something a little more fashionable.
Sure
Okay.
does.
Well, that showed a traditional applique. You had a sweatshirt that had a reverse applique.
Correct.
So let's go over
Correct.
that piece.
So we would use use our laser etch machine, and when the laser beam would hit a cotton garment, it's going to burn completely through that. And in this case, we want that to happen because we want a different color to shine through on the garment. So, for example, this one we picked more of the natural color to shine through on a gray hoodie sweatshirt.
And then embroidered the eye, the dot on
Exactly.
over
We
the
can
eye.
definitely we promote that as it can include embroidery on the applique design.
Okay.
And you can also be creative. You don't necessarily have to go full chest. You can also do it, say, on a lower hip area. So again,
Yeah, you're a little bit freer on placement because again, you're not really. Well, I guess that you do have to hoop to a certain extent. So you need
right.
to be
This would be
careful.
looked at as two separate locations.
Right. Okay.
But you could have it coming down the side of the garment, depending on the name or logo that you're using.
Okay. Great. And then I guess that last piece had which is actually really cool, is using camo
Correct.
to do an applique.
A camo is a very popular style out there. You see a lot of camo caps, bags, things like that. But what we've created is taking a camo applique and utilizing that on a hoodie. You could do it on a crew neck. Many different garments within our category of fleece or jackets, things like that.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, Mark, I think you showed us some really unique and creative ways to decorate, even just elevating a basic T-shirt. So I think we've hopefully seen some things that give people some reason to think about another way to use a otherwise pretty very standard garment.
Correct. It's just definitely creating retail looks in a corporate environment.
Well, great. Well, thanks again for coming to visit us at Activate, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.